You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
This is episode 254 of Horsemanship Radio, brought to you by HandsOnGloves.com, the all-in-one revolutionary bathing grooming gloves. Horsemanship Radio is a part of the family of the Horse Radio Network, and today we have a whole crowd of people from all over the world. This is Debbie Laux, and you're listening to the Horsemanship Radio. Thanks for joining us. Horsemanship Radio airs on the 1st and the 15th of the month, and I have my producer, Jen, with me today. Hi, Jen. I'm going to need you on this one.
Greetings, Debbie. You need me? Oh, I think you did a pretty good job without me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, to sort this all out in production, good for you. I don't know how you do it. I do not.
Well, you cut and you paste. When I was a little kid, I liked playing with paper dolls where you cut things out. It's a little bit like that, but with a sound file. It's a little bit like that. Once again, grown-up podcaster that you are, I'm really looking forward to diving into this one because such diverse voices from literally all over the globe.
Yep.
And I'm sure they all have very different journeys that got them to their advanced course at Flag is Up.
Yes.
And yet they get there, and the dedication to working with horses by communicating positively with them and not using force is universal throughout those people, despite the fact that everything else before that is so varied. And I'm really curious to hear all that.
Yeah, they're great examples, each and every one of them. And we did it a little bit roundtable-ish so that you'll get to hear the accents and everything, as I love to share with people, because I always feel like I don't want to be a black hole for these lovely moments of people being here and expressing what they love about horses and where they want to go with horses, or where they want to go with horses and people. How it's, because really they're not trainers of horses as much as they are imparting knowledge to people. I think Jamie Jennings of Horse Radio Network said it best when she said, the horses are fine, people need it, but why don't they teach us this stuff? I've been around horses my whole life, and there's just so many aha moments. And I think that's what these guys are finding, even at the advanced course level. There's a lot of aha moments because we're using these unhandled, pretty much untouched wild horses. The only touching that they've had is not real positive with people because they've been rounded up and, possibly gelded and certainly branded if they're a Mustang from the Bureau of Land Management, and shots, and all those things are like, people are bad. I'm not so sure about them. And in just a few days, these horses were handed to them as project horses. They literally, I think they drew names out of a hat kind of thing for their horses. And then they just get started. It's a 3-week class, and I'm interviewing them on the very last day. So it's wonderful.
So I can't wait to get into it. And we're going to do that right after we hear a little bit from something else that's universal, hands-on gloves, because all horses and all dogs need grooming.
Hands-On Gloves is the #1 ranked multi-award winning patented animal shedding, bathing, grooming gloves that animals prefer for their generous massage that they provide. Hands-On is currently expanding to bring you revolutionary new animal products as well as high-quality, effective gardening gloves and tools. Hands-On Gloves will change the way we tackle everyday animal and gardening activities, making those efforts faster and more effective. Whether you have a house full of cherished fur babies, a garden full of prize-worthy vegetables, a ranch of prized livestock, or the best rose garden in town, Hands-On Gloves provides you with the tactical tools you need to get the job done right. They're non-abrasive with flexible round tips and strong nylon fabric. They make the perfect grooming gloves. Find Hands-On Gloves at your local retailers or at HandsOnGloves.com. So I'd like to describe a little bit about the certification process. The people that are being interviewed today will tell you a little bit about what their goals and probably what they want to do with the rest of their lives as far as horses are concerned. And so people should know a little bit about this certification process that they're going through. So these are all advanced course students. They've taken a course for 3 weeks now, and they were given a project horse. In other words, pretty much an unhandled, untouched horse. And the goal is really to see how, in being fair to the horse, how far that horse can come. Not in the way of like these Mustang makeovers and a competition, because everybody is very rooting on each other. But if the horse is more fractious than another horse and it's very soft and everything, what can he do? What can a soft horse do? The one that's a little less sensitive, how far can they get? The whole goal is to learn your timing and being fair to the horse and going forward. So Dad has always said, Monty Roberts has said that the major source of satisfaction that he receives from working with horses is the verification by the horses of what his work means to the horses. And I like that a lot. These people find satisfaction in working with the horse, and the horse is verifying or affirming the work that they're doing. And that's what they're really taught and if you want to say judged on. So let's talk a little bit about becoming a Monty Roberts instructor. It's unique in that some of these people in this class are green as grass, as we say, but they've been working with horses maybe 5-6 years, but they could be mid-20s or 20. Some people have been working with horses a lot in their lifetime, but as they say quite often in the classes, nobody ever told me that. Oh, how come they didn't teach me about end of pressure? Or nobody told me about the difference in the vision of a horse and how that makes a difference in their behaviors. So becoming a Monty Roberts instructor we're providing unique skills in the equine industry. They're learning to train in the absence of violence and getting excellent performance because of it. So it isn't something just for connection and relationship. It is that too, but it's actually in order to get as much performance out of the horse as somebody wants. And the steps involved in becoming a Monty Roberts certified instructor are listed on the website, but basically step 1 is the introductory course, and that's a 2-week course. There's no prerequisites. And then you go home and start sending videos in until you're accepted to take the introductory course exam. Then the step 2 really is we're creating right now, and I'll unveil this today, we're creating an intermediate set of courses as well, because it's a big leap to go from the introductory course exam to the advanced course where you're handed this untouched horse. So we're building some skill sets in between. And then, of course, this is step 4, where these guys are jumping into this course that they've been pretty much invited to at this point because they've been submitting their videos. And if their videos are passed, then they go on to the next video, and there's different kinds of skills that they're looking for in each video. But these are the ones that have been invited now to the advanced course, and they're really on their way to becoming certified. And that means not to train horses, which they can do very well, but it's really to teach these concepts to people. Because, as Jamie Jennings also said, the horses are fine, right? And it's the people who really need the education. So we like to come toward the direction of the horses rather than push people in these courses. We want to watch the horses affirming or verifying. So let's hear what they have to say. Welcome, Denise, to Horsemanship Radio. This is not your first rodeo. You've been on Horsemanship Radio now several times, teaching us all kinds of great things. But aren't you proud of this class that you just got through teaching?
Yes, absolutely. Today was a very proud moment when I saw all of the students, humans and horses, line up we always do our presentation at the end. And it was great to see them all standing there, like really proud of themselves, as they should be. And everybody, like the horses, would stand there like perfectly behaving in the partnership with their handlers, so that was really nice.
It was beautiful. I actually ushered over a student that's coming in for the intro course next week. He's from Norway. And I think he thought, oh, sure, those horses. And then one of the horses kind of acted out a little bit. And I said, see, I told you that 3 weeks ago, these horses didn't have halters really to speak of. They certainly didn't lead around properly. And they would look brilliant. They look like little statues this morning.
Yeah, no, a lot of other show people could, have these horses as an aim because
yes,
they did
professional halter horses. Yeah, that's exactly right. So that was lovely to see. And then I saw a parade of Mustangs going back to the pastures a little bit later, which was fun. Beautiful.
That was fun, yeah. And they enjoyed themselves, when we opened the gates, they were like happy for spring break.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've been under stress a little bit for the last 3 weeks. But we're going to talk to the students that are coming out the end of the 3-week advanced course. And I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you've accomplished with creating a curriculum that actually is making some beautiful horsemen out there, horse persons out there that know how to handle themselves around the horses. What's the end goal after they leave here for most people?
For most people, I hope they just practice and spend more time with the horses to really go and understand what the horses have to tell us, to be getting more fluent in the language of equus, like the language of the horses with their gestures and, their behavior, how they can communicate to us. So often it is that we are not aware how much the horses communicate back to us. And I think after the 3 weeks now, people will go home with a different view from up top, so they can observe their horses in a different perspective and just listen to their teaching a little bit more than as they probably done before.
The horses are the professors, and that's a beautiful goal. I love those. I love how you're evolving this whole methodology. I know the school, the Monty Roberts International Learning Center, was created in 97, formed in 97, but a lot has happened since then. And now you've got the Learning Center over in Europe, situated in Bamberg, in the Bavaria area of Germany. And how is that going?
Well, it goes very well. I'm trying to build it up step by step, incremental. Remind me not to always try to reach the end goal immediately, but there it's the same thing. You need to give yourself time and the process time and, incremental steps and be proud of each steps you achieve. Okay. So that's where we are going with the Learning Center in Europe and building it up.
It's a beautiful place, and it's a great place to actually take the courses as well. You're offering the courses over there too, so it makes it a little bit easier for the international crowd to get there than in Solvang, California, where we're sitting right now. We're sitting in a saloon as we speak. You may think we're in a studio, but it's much more fun than that. We're in Monty's saloon, and we're sitting with 7 people. Now, you said the word incremental a second ago, and I love that word. I also like experiential, and I think the last 3 weeks have been experiential for this group. They're all nodding their heads, yep. But I think maybe we should talk a little bit about the facility. So you start off in the gentling facility, which is unique and wonderful, and then we lead to, from that, you get them eventually to a round pen. And then we get to a small arena and possibly a bigger round pen, or that's the venture out is bigger. Yeah. And maybe, do they even make it all the way to a saddle? What do we do with them?
Yeah, I mean, as always, we go with whatever the horse allows us to do and to teach them. So some are a little bit slower or need more time and explanation than the others. But at the end, all of our starters who, when we got them, had absolute different levels of, some we couldn't even touch and some we were able to groom at the beginning, but all of them ended up equally relaxed with the first saddle and long line after the 3 weeks. So I think that was another very proud moment.
Excellent.
And prove to us that we go with that incremental steps, but not forgetting the individual to really only do the steps they're ready for. And then they always show us, that when we do a good job, they are happy and relaxed and in communication and trusting us for whatever we present to them that they can handle. And yeah, so therefore, those steps of first bringing them in safe places like the gentling shoot, where we can show them that our approach and our touch does not mean any harm to them. And we keep the flight instinct and the adrenaline as low as possible. And from there, gradually build up their trust so that they are willing to allow us to touch them in open space. And then we bring them for the first little walk, and then we get them into the round pen, and then we show them some other stimuli, so they can just learn to be trusting us, but also the self-confidence, so that whatever comes towards them, they can handle together with us in that relationship. So.
And remembering this is all in 3 weeks. And you take weekends off a little bit, or did you guys play with your horses on the weekends too? Yeah, they play with their horses a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
I think everybody wanted to take their horse home, as it always is. You spend 3 weeks with like a horse, like in our case with a horse, and it's just bonding. I mean, so much time you spend together, and you get to know their little, specialties and their characters, and you just get to, I think all of the students got to love their project horses. They're all nodding again as well. Yeah. And it always happens like that. And it's so nice to pass like a learning curve like this together. So it's really special.
You know where all their itchy spots are and everything. Yeah, it makes them smile. Yeah. Well, good. So what we're going to do is introduce, we'll just say our names and where we're from first. So you get a little idea of all the accents and all the different regions of the globe that these concepts are growing into, which is wonderful. And I do want to say that I think the big word is innovation too. Not only incremental is the education, but in Europe alone, the innovating of the Monty Roberts concepts, which is, as Monty just said a few minutes ago to us, is not his concepts. It's the horse's concepts. It's the horse's language and world that we actually bond into rather than the other way around. And I just don't see a lot of other curriculums like this one out there. And so if people are interested in learning more about that, we're going to talk about that at the end of the show, about how to get involved in this cool thing. So we have a group of 3 guys and 4 women right in front of me, which is unusual. Isn't it unusual, Denise, to have 3 guys?
Yeah, I don't know how to say it in English, but we most of the time have that quote man, that
That's right.
Quote man. Yeah.
Token man, I think we say. Man. Yeah, the token man.
And but this time the token man is not alone. So
we have token men now.
Yeah, exactly. Some buddies. So it was nice.
So we'll start with some male voices here, and notice that you've clustered that way. Actually, we have the 3 men first.
My name is James Oliver, and I'm from the United States.
Wow. And that's unusual in itself right there. Yay.
I am Tamim Heinlein. I'm from Holland, Kuwaiti descent.
Hola, Debbie. My name is Jose Mario Briceño. I come from Colombia.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tess Armani, and I'm from Germany.
She's laughing because she has a very American accent. No, so.
I'm Erica Flack from Toronto, Ontario.
Canada.
Hi, I'm Madeline Benedson. I'm from Denmark.
She's from Denmark, if you didn't hear that. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Naya Bang. I'm from Denmark.
And Joan Satori-Sway says to say hi. She's very proud of you and thinks that we've developed quite a group of talented people here too. She's been plugging in. So now that we've established that we do have a pretty global place here, and we're proud of the fact that you guys want to go on and do things with these, whether it's teaching, whether it's training your own horses, or whether it's training people. There's a lot of different concepts. But I'm curious about this myself, so certainly I think the listeners will be. Imagine if you could take Monty to the barn with you. Watch and learn as he addresses each challenge with your horse and answers your questions too. You head to the arena and you work on each new lesson, knowing Monty's there to encourage you, all with violence-free, tried and true methods. After all, he's been helping train horse lovers all his life. With his online university, you could be like Kathy, a retired teacher who just bought her first horse.
Recently, I went to a tack shop to look for a smaller halter. I'm 61, just purchased my 14 Hands POA the day after my birthday, just a few weeks ago, after never having had a horse. And yes, that's crazy, but as a retired teacher who never had a hobby other than teaching, I decided to go for it. My hubby and I have taken lessons this past year, but I really longed for a relationship with a horse. The only other experience I'd ever had was to ride a horse in Philly, Pennsylvania, my hometown, when I was 16, and I got bucked off. And that was it until I was 61. Well, the owner of this tack shop, just this precious lady, 84-year-old lady, gave me a copy of this magazine, Equine Monthly. And the article I read in it was Horses Are Biofeedback Beings. And it was just so interesting. I really felt like I just found a pot of gold when I read it, because in it talked about Monty's online university and that I could have access to 575 videos for $10 a month. And before that, I was just searching YouTube for everything I could find. But truthfully, that's just a pain. I love that the uni videos are concise and they're in order. They have extra notes and a quiz. And I just can't thank you enough for the huge blessing of your online university. It really has changed my life, and I will never be the same. I've had my horse Jack now for 7 weeks, and thanks to the videos, I've done join up with him, and it really worked like a dream. I had to do it in an arena, but it still worked thanks to Monty's lessons and the cues and the hand signals. The ability to watch the lessons over and over on demand is incredible. So I also want to thank you so very much for making the online university affordable for this retired teacher. Thank you so much for all that you do for everyone who really wants to love a horse. Kathy.
The first thing I wanted to ask you, because I think I'm curious about this myself, is what insights do you think you got from Denise this 3 weeks? I know that she's brilliant, and you all know that. But you probably saw some things that I didn't get to see this week, too. Show of hands if somebody would like to say something that they learned from Denise. Yeah.
From Denise, and it's related more to the expectation that I have for the training. I told her that I was like kind of in my mind, we're going to do a lot of join ups and they want to correct my technique and stuff like that. But she showed me that it's way beyond that you have to put yourself as a human into the service of a horse, to understand what they're passing through and to start to read all the gestures that they gave us with their body in order to manage all the way and catch the feeling of what's going on. And that's what Denise brought to me.
Brilliant.
Actually.
Yeah, that's good. Who else?
Yeah, I just want to add to Jose that Denise really made it very clear that the horse is always communicating something. Yeah,
that's a good point. They don't stop speaking to us. The body language, yeah?
On top of reading the horse, she displayed so much fine examples, but in addition to reading the horse, understanding how our energy works with the horse. It's not always about, using the dually halter or the line, but it's really about understanding our energy. So we're not relying so much on sounds and voices and tools, but ultimately our tools are energy. And to see her doing that is really clear evidence of that it works and how much work and practice we have to do ourselves as students.
That's good. Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that, about what you're going to do after this as well. Any other insights?
As someone that is very sensitive and maybe overly attuned to the horse's needs, Denise demonstrated that directness and having a goal can be in harmony with that sensitivity without violence and without force.
Beautiful. That's a great thing to learn. Anyone else? Well, the next question is about insight that you might have gotten from one of the horses, not necessarily your project horse. Now, remember, they all got project horses that they've fallen in love with, and you're taking them home. We're going to count the fields after. But were there moments where you got some insight from a horse that you thought was something you didn't expect necessarily, or it affected you in a way?
I think one of the horses called Lola made it very clear of what she was ready for and what she was not ready for. That was very interesting to...
what did she do? What was the gestures?
I mean, when we were in the round pen, she would make it very clear if she was not ready for the surcingle. So we would have to go a step back to something she was familiar with and that she knew and was comfortable with.
Because that surcingle is a bit of a challenge with all those ganglion nerves in that girth area. That's a big challenge to put that on both sides of that barrel of a horse too. So did she kick, fight, bite? What'd she do?
She just got very uneasy, moving a lot, stressing.
So you wanted to back off because you read her body language doing that. Yeah, good. That is a great thing to learn, right? When the horse can take it and when you've given them too much. And does anybody notice from any of the horses that the next day that they might have come back further ahead than you left them?
Yes, I have a very sensitive Mustang called Lisa, and it was so difficult to approach her at the beginning that I had to stay there like for a long while, just asking myself, what is she going to teach me? What is this horse teaching me that I need to learn? And it was really difficult, but when she decided, she let me touch her, and we went like closer and closer every day. And it's not that I approach, she approaches to me and showed me that thing. So as it was really challenging, the whole procedure, then I worked with a different horse called Mocha, and Mocha kind of communicate to me like, you had a hard time because you needed to find something. Now you found it, I'll let you work easily on me. And there was like that communication flowing. That was amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Fun. That's fun stuff. Any other insights from a horse? Yes.
Well, I think that the most I've learned from all the horses is that we as humans should talk less and listen more in order to get that communication going. And that is something that, those horses are really misunderstood. When they break loose or whatever, we think it's aggression. For them, it's insecurity. We are very selfish as humans, so we should think more about what they're trying to tell us instead of what we try to tell them.
And what did you learn that looked like? So if somebody's listening to this and says, of course I try to listen to my horse, am I too fast, or is it that I make too many decisions for them, or what does it look like?
Human nature, assumptions, too fast responding out of own insecurity, because we do reflect that upon the horses, our own feelings, our own energy. So those are.
And understand that they are individuals. I mean, and just as humans, we are not on every day to do some things or challenges ourselves. We also need rest. They also need rest. Someday we like to work more than the other, and we have to go for that and understand that and go with it. Let them also express themselves and respect that. It's a matter of respect to them.
So you be fair by allowing your horse to be who he is that day.
Yes.
Yeah. Were they mostly geldings that you were working with, or did you have mares as well?
Mostly mares, actually.
Mostly mares.
One gelding.
And one gelding out of the 7. That's amazing. Did anybody find that was a challenge? Are you used to working with mares or geldings, or did anybody find any differences there?
I mean, we had a big range of different kinds of horses in size and personality and extremes, from super pushy to super shy and insecure. So I think that was really good for us that we were able to learn from so many different horses. And I often forgot like that it was mostly mares and we had like one gelding. So for me, that didn't matter much. It was mostly learning from the horses themselves and their personalities and how to deal with different kinds of horses. And we also had to understand what is that horse's need at that moment, because each one of them needed something else.
Yeah, absolutely. So did you have a more passive or a more aggressive horse?
I had an extremely shy and insecure horse. And what was really, really awesome, though, she barely let me touch her at the beginning, but the more I worked with her, it felt like the more she could take in, the more information I could give her. So it was very little by little at the beginning, but the more she understood, that she could trust me, and the more she felt more comfortable taking more information, and she got really far, and she actually showed a feisty side.
Ah, there you go. So she does have a feisty side. Do you think it had anything to do with you as far as breathing and being more comfortable with her as you moved along?
I'm sure. I mean, I felt like she really trusted me. She, the last couple of days, she always came right. She had this thing, she would always turn to the side. So I kind of had to work my way around.
Did a little dance out there.
Yeah. So it took a long time to halter her, but then the last couple of days, she just walked right up and it was easy. So I'm pretty sure that's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think Denise is smiling right now too. So she said, yeah, that was a good sign. Yeah, that's good. Totally. Anything else? Yes.
I learned a lot from one of the gentlest mare. She was so hard to catch, and yeah, you really had to breathe and be consistent. And
hard to catch is a difficult thing, isn't it? Because you really have to get you right and your physiology right. What did you do?
We approached her and put a stable hold on, and then we worked with lines and
So is that the one I saw in a light blue halter a lot, even when she's turned out? Nope. Maybe. There's one that was left in a halter, I think. No, not her. Good for you.
It was Lisa.
Lisa
had a light blue halter, or green one actually.
No,
right?
I'm colorblind. There's so much I know that you probably learned this week and last week as they progressed, and that Denise probably got more and more intense. But it was pretty cute this morning. The interns were sitting in chairs this morning. Now we had as many as 3 interns during this course, but 2 interns this morning I think they had coffee in their hands and they were eating something, and they said, we're out of a job. You know, when we first started these 3 weeks, we were in there, somebody couldn't pick up a foot and somebody couldn't groom. And they said, no, we're really, but look around. All these horses are quiet and happy, and the people are quiet and happy. So it's fun to see the adrenaline drop and your bodies get in sync with these horses. Do you feel like, so this is an off the chart question, but do you feel like you're going home more relaxed, or do you feel like you're energetic to dive in there with new horses?
I would say both.
You'd say both?
Yeah, I'm more relaxed, but I also feel inspired to get out there and practice.
Yeah, good. Were there insights that anyone learned from fellow students? Did you see anything that you thought, I've never seen anybody do that before? Or, that's a great idea. That seemed to work for them. Just amongst yourself then?
Probably what I saw of the ladies here and my colleagues here in the group is the gentleness, how they treat the horses, and how they kind of enter in a synchronicity with the horse so easy. so easy. I was kind of jealous of that situation and the good energy that each one of them brought to the horses. And it's lovely to see that. It's just lovely.
That's wonderful. Yeah, a question for Denise. That collaboration, having 7 people in this case, working with you and the interns, do you feel like that's important? Is that even better than working individually if you had to, or no?
I think, the individual sessions are very important because it's that in the moment giving advice, which really helps to change some muscle memory and movements, but the group dynamic and just the joy of being with equal-minded people for such a long time and feel this connection, the acceptance and, everybody's in the same boat. It's just wonderful. And you learn so much more from the possibility to see those individual characters with the individual horses and, how quickly the dynamic changes. And sometimes when we are in the situation in the round pen with the horse, you are so overwhelmed by so many little things that you are just doing it. But when you are sitting up top, you can see from that upper top perspective, and you see all of the small little details, what the change is causing. Sometimes it's just the angling of the hand or the shoulder and then approach, and the horse is yeah, that's how you can touch me. But when you move 10 centimeters further away in that direction, then sorry, no.
Yep.
And from inside, you just doing it at the moment but from up top, you see it very clearly, and that memory and that insight is going to stay, and when you find yourself in that moment, then again, in the inside, you remember, I saw another person have the same issue. Let's try, or let's see, how that can be. I can try the same if it is, if it helps me the same as I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I love about you all being able to take a 3-week course here, which is important, right? If it was 3 days, we wouldn't get as far, nearly. And if it was more than that, we probably wouldn't get any students to stay here. So it's a nice balance, and I'm glad it is 3 weeks now. I think for a while it was 2 weeks, and it wasn't enough. You can see what you've learned in the last week was really important with the horse, yeah? So I'm really proud of you, and I know that you're going to go off and do good things. Are you planning on, I'll just do a quick around the table. Are you planning on teaching other, or just training horses? Are you teaching other people to take courses from you, or are you planning on just training your own horses? I'll start with James.
For the time being, it'll be working with the horses on the property that I currently work at and get more experience, and maybe within a year look at the advanced exams. Go from there with the intention of being able to instruct this, because I feel like it's a benefit for anyone personally and obviously serving the horses.
Yeah, nice.
If I will ever become an instructor, I would definitely want to teach. I'm mainly focused on the Middle East. There's not much of Monty Roberts happening over there yet, and there's a big need for it, for the horses. So teaching people, teaching horses, yeah, that's a dream.
That's great. We need you over there. Wonderful. Keep going.
Definitely, I want to become a trainer. And one of the things I back in my mind I was working on is what can I bring into this innovation process of the Monty Rover process, and I speak Spanish, and I have to say I'm very, very big fan of the podcast because it adds information to whatever I got the information, and I've seen that the Spanish speaking people that are horse people, they cannot manage the courses in English, and well, I'm here.
Fantastic.
I'm here.
Yeah, we need some Spanish. We've got a few Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, but we do need.
I know
Spanish.
them. I also speak Portuguese, but you know, you have to be, because I heard in one of your podcasts that you try with a translator, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you have to feel it and know what he's doing, like from the heart, from the bottom of the heart. So that's one of my purposes in life. So
fantastic! I'm so glad.
It's in my bucket list.
Okay, bucket list it is.
I would like to further explore training and teaching. Right now, I'm really in love with the idea of helping horses overcome traumas and fears. It's really rewarding when you can actually help a horse and seeing how they open up, and it's great when you know you can help a horse overcome that.
That's true. That is true. And there's a lot of great stories out of that too. That's wonderful. We want to hear some of yours in the future too. Erica?
I'd like to continue working with both people and horses and just, keep expanding and following the current.
Good. Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah, I would like to teach and help as much horses and people. And I love to start horses and help people.
You're big on the starting process in Denmark, yeah? And is there a particular breed that you have focused on?
Mostly show jumpers, but...
What is it?
Show jumpers.
Show jumpers.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. We don't have a lot of instructors in the show jumping area, I don't think. Yeah?
Some, but you're more than welcome, Madeleine.
We have plenty of room.
Yeah.
Plenty of room. That's wonderful. Thank you.
I think I would someday like to teach, but also like the first step is practice training horses, and then I think the teaching will come once you really want to share the good that you do. So
one of the more common things we hear is, how come nobody ever told me about this stuff? How come I've been with horses for 15 years and I never hear these things, you know? And I think that's one of the more exciting things that we like to hear, is because it is innovating, and that means that horses will be treated better, we think, by the concepts. And that means that people will find horses more relevant in their lives, and horses won't be blamed so much for some of the mistakes that we can make for them too. So any further questions or concerns that you have with this class, or are they ready to move on?
Yeah, they're ready to move on. I think they're all ready to have a little bit of a sit back and let everything sink in. So a bit of latent learning for them. And it was wonderful time. And I think we all enjoyed it together, the horses, the people, and everybody involved. So therefore, I think, ready to go on and experience themselves a little bit with the horses, and just go home, have fun, learning from the...
So as you finish up this 3 weeks, do you do Maverick time? Or, the Maverick is the famous saloon around here. Everybody knows it. All the
only one, you mean?
It's about the only saloon, besides the one we're sitting in, I suppose. But no, go celebrate, have a good time, and, expand your brain afterward. But we're really proud that you made your way here, all the way from Kuwait, perhaps, or Scandinavia. It's amazing, all the sacrifices that I know that you all made to be here and spend the time. But keep going. That's what we say.
Whisper the language of the herd. Listen, you don't have to say a word.
It's time for Jamie Jennings to fetch an email from Monty Roberts' inbox and share a morsel of Monty's wisdom in a little segment we like to call Ask Monty.
Leave this world a better place than mine. The magic in the language of the herd.
Dear Monty, when trailering a horse, what type of halter should I use? I've been told not to use a rope or nylon halter or head collar, but to use a leather halter. The leather halter will break away in case of an accident. The others would not. Monty's answer. This is not only a good question, but I believe that it suggests a very good frame of mind for a horseman. You are obviously quite concerned for the health and safety of the horse, and that is an admirable quality. Often people will talk a good game where these things are concerned, but then not bother to use appropriate procedures that will indeed improve the chances of your horse staying safe in challenging circumstances. I often say that transportation is one of the most critical areas in the horse's existence where safety is concerned. Regarding the need for a means of breaking away in the trailer, there are several solutions which I believe to be far better than choosing a breakaway halter. A very simple one is to tie a short length of baling twine to the tying up ring and secure the lead rope to this. This will allow the horse to break away as effectively as any kind of halter. Then, when the horse is loose, he actually still has a halter on.
For more of these insights into good horsemanship, go to MontyRoberts.com and click on the words Ask Monty at the bottom of the page.
Where in the world is Monty Roberts?
Monty is looking forward to meeting some new friends, two-legged and four-legged, in May. Here we are. It's May 1st as this is released. And on May 4, we have a mountain trail play day. Then May 11th, we have a horsemanship 101. Those are really popular. So I'm hoping as you hear this, that you're already signed up. Then May 13 through 17, we have a Monty special training. And that'll be taught by a Brazilian. So if there is anybody who speaks Portuguese and wants to have some little tips in Portuguese, we have that as well. So it's a Monty special training. Of course, Dad doesn't speak Portuguese, so very English. So, and then in May 24 through 26, we have a Horse Sense in Healing, the second one of the year. Then in June, we have 10 through 14 Gentling Wild Horses. And it's a little taste of what they might get in that advanced course you've been hearing about. But it is that and very safe. And we don't have any prerequisites for that. Then June 21 through 23 is the movement, our 7th annual, the movement. Oh, and we have a lady who is an expert in, she's saving a lot of the bands of wild Mustangs. So she's just been invited to come to the movement. We also have Roberto Tesco. So some people who know that episode that we did of the Sable Island horses, he'll be here. Jamie Jennings will be here. Monty Roberts will be here. Manjeev Chowdhury from India, our certified instructor will be here. Then we have Miguel Lupiano from Brazil will be here for the June clinic, and other instructors as well, because we love the movement and we have so much fun. And that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's 21 through 23. Super excited about that. And July, we have a 8 through 12 Monty special training. Then 19 through 21, we have a Horse Sense in Healing, our third one of the year. Then July 20, we have a Mountain Trail Play Day. And July 27, Horsemanship 101. Super popular. Long-term planners. Okay, August. I know you're laying out your summer. So August 5 through 20 will be the introductory course of horsemanship. And then we'll break that down into mods. So that 5 through 7 is the first steps to Monty's methods. 8, 9, 12 will be the module of join up. 13 through 15 is the module of long lining. And then 16, 19, 20 is the module 4, which is prepping you for those intro course exams. And then we have the last one of the summer. On August 25, we have Horsemanship 101. You can tell they're really popular because they're in almost every month. There we are.
Dun, dun, dun. You can find that and more at MontyRoberts.com. You can speak with a real, live, helpful human being at Flag Is Up Farms at 805-688-6288. And if you can't put that to memory, it's also on the website, MontyRoberts.com. And details about today's show, MontyRoberts.com has them, as does HorsemanshipRadio.com, where you'll find links, photos, and more information about today's guests and topics. We love your feedback. We love to hear from you on social media. On Facebook, it's Monty Roberts, the one with the little blue check mark. And on Twitter, as well as Instagram, it's Monty_Roberts.
Many thanks to our sponsors, HandsOnGloves, Jay Michelson and his team, and then MontyRobertsUniversity.com. That MontyRobertsUniversity.com has been with us and was launched in 2009. And now we have well over 800 lessons on that. And that really is our legacy piece. It's a wonderful resource. Be sure to visit all the other great shows on the Horse Radio Network at www.horseradionetwork.com. Until next time, have many happy horse hours.